Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again for some collegiate iRacing League action. Now with a brand new partner in the garage shop. So we want to give a big thanks to them as well. So this summer season here, we'll see a couple of new changes. Most notably, it'll be referred to as the Garage Shop College Cup Series. The other thing you might notice, we are running the NASCAR Gen 4 cars for this summer season. As we see Timothy Wilms on track there, Drexel University making their run here in qualifying. But these Gen 4 cars will be quite the sight to watch. A lot of horsepower, not a lot of handling, and aerodynamic skew all over the place. So this will be certainly a new challenge for our drivers as they jump into the next season of action here. I will be one of the voices in the booth tonight. I'm Alex Gagnon. Alongside me, it is Josh Grain. And Josh, it's only been a couple of short weeks since Season 7 concluded with UNC Charlotte standing on top of the podium.
That's exactly what happened, and you saw Drexel University there completing their qualifying effort. Daytona winner of last season, and made a deep run into the playoffs as well. Didn't come out on top, but yeah, that's the tricky part of trying to make a 14-race season. But got another one queued up this summer, Alex. It's going to be a 12-race season for these students, wherever they may be, interning or studying abroad, and so on. So it's going to be a lot of fun here. Action, we know that one sim rig already has been transported to Singapore. And so a little bit later on, you will see Lucas Santos, that Minnesota gopher that you will remember from the road side, making his oval debut tonight. That's going to be super exciting for the University of Minnesota and for Santos as well from Singapore. And so as we are about halfway through qualifying right now, I do see, Alex, the track temp is something that stands out here. Obviously 80 degrees, ambient temp, nothing to speak of, but that 80, 81 degree track temp, that's going to be pretty exciting for these guys. They're going to enjoy a little bit more grip this evening, I think.
Yeah, it's also pose a bit of a unique challenge here, especially given that this is a night race, so the track will cool off rather quickly as the race goes on, which will make it trickier as it goes on, as we see one of our cars getting a little loose there. I do believe that was the Penn College of Technology and Austin DeLong. On board here with Ohio State and Matthew Morton as they're going out for their qualifying lap here. But yeah, no, the night racing always poses an interesting challenge, especially at a track like Auto Club where there's so many lanes you can run on this track. It's going to keep a lot of options open, but it's going to make those options change as the night goes on, as lanes start to shift with the temperatures going down. So as qualifying goes on here, you might have the perfect line to run some hot laps in the early part of this race, but that might not necessarily be the winning strategy at the end if this track changes too much.
Yeah, this track will most certainly change a little bit. We got a number of laps for these cars, and it's going to be going by pretty quickly because these are big 800, 900 horsepower machines here tonight, Alex, and all that power has got to make its way through the rear wheels. So you had mentioned a little bit of skew for the drivers who were ongoing down the straightaway, but we'll also see that in the corner as well. So it's going to be a lot of action. Talked to Drew Williams from Clemson University, and he did say that tires are going to be the theme of the season. And we're jumping straight into it here. This is a track. Obviously, it's big, so you're going to have a lot of on throttle time and your momentum. So with these lightly banked corners, Alex, the tires are going to jump into an immediate challenge here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But the good news for the drivers is they have 5 spare sets in addition to the set they have on the car right now. So anytime they have the opportunity to come down pit road, they will have a chance to switch those off for some fresh Goodyears, and will be able to roll around a lot easier than they might be on some of the older tires here. Should be a good one here tonight, as qualifying looks like it's getting pretty close to being wrapped up. And we'll see some new faces up at the top of the standings here. With this being the summer season, sometimes you don't have all the people who are competing during the academic year here for the fall as well, as we see Athena Leclerc going through the grass there for St. Clair College. But without everyone who was back from the spring, some people taking the summer to rest and recuperate, getting ready for the fall semester and the fall competition season, might be the opportunity some of these other drivers need to cement themselves into the lore here of the CIL with maybe becoming the new frontrunners here for Season 8, our second summer season.
Yeah, and it will be with the way and lifestyle that college students have to work with. That roster is pretty fluid sometimes on occasion, and so we do get the chance to see new or old drivers who may come and go, but every season has a little bit different landscape. And we know that it was a big contest, especially in the last season of the Next Gen car, between this school right here, St. Clair College, up north of the border here, as well as North Carolina at Charlotte. Clint Halterman and Jared Kaler from that school taking the fight to the front. And so we're going to see surely a little bit more as Zach DeWale and Athena Leclerc are returning for St. Clair College. And Alex, we're surely going to see some new faces up front and competing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to reach out and grab this opportunity. With a couple of the big names gone, it's going to leave a lot open for some of these drivers who may have had to settle for top 5 to top 10 previously. They might have the opportunity to jump out and claim their inaugural CIL victory. As one of those people could be Edwin Onofre of the University of North Texas, as we're on board with him right now. A lot of looks like a bit of a handful there trying to go through 1 and 2 as they're trying to set their fast lap right now. But based off of the standings from last year, both on the student side and in the alumni division, we could have some very interesting battles. I mean, last year's alumni battle came down to 1 point, and both of those drivers, Colin Kolpa from Indiana and Jeremy Millerin from Purdue, are back for another crack at the title here in Season 8. So there will be action all throughout this field, and all of it gets going in about a minute here as qualifying is nearing its end.
Yeah, qualifying getting wrapped up here as the University of North Texas tries to get some laps in. We've observed a little bit of the Discord, Alex, and we think that, yeah, it might be a lot of cars up by that wall. As you can see, that 199 running up there, and it is going to be tricky. We're going to see some cars in the wall tonight, and the reason for that is the fast thing to do is up by the wall right now, and the rear end kicked out a little bit so you can propel yourself up around that corner, off the corner, through a strong exit. And if you don't do that, then the car will, again, tighten up and find that wall up there. Pretty similar, actually, to Homestead, if you have driven the Gen 4 Cup car at Homestead as well. So that's going to be something to watch for these drivers as qualifying is, in fact, wrapped up. And we'll get to the grid shortly. And, yeah, I think it's going to be a close racing, and not just the other cars, Alex, that these drivers are going to have to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. But that will bring qualifying to a close here for the season opener here of the Garage Shop College Cup Series. And on pole, it is one of the new faces in Ohio State's Matthew Morton. Number 13 there puts it on pole with a blisteringly fast time of 39.684. Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte will be second as a winner from last season. They picked up the win at Watkins Glen, looking to pick up their second one here tonight at Auto Club. Zach DeWale rolls off third. Edwin Onofre for North Texas will be rolling off fourth. Brandon Schulenberger's Wingate University will be fifth. Cody Hunley for East Tennessee State rolls off sixth. Dustin Buck for Waldorf University will be seventh in that number 68, alongside Kent Huntley of Northeastern State Technical College. Colin Kolpa, the reigning alumni champ, will roll off ninth alongside Andrew McCall of Purdue. And in row 6, it is Andrew Williams of Clemson University alongside Jake Cummings of Wingate University, two drivers who had deep playoff runs last year but were not able to seal the deal in the end. Garrett Vighton rolls off 13th, and Jason Willott of Drexel rolls off 14th. Josh, how about the back half of the grid here?
Yeah, and Jeff Pete from the University of Minnesota going to find himself in 15th position. St. Clair College, again, we talked about Athena Leclerc rolling off 16th position. Arizona State University's Connor Levy in 17th. around Austin DeLong. Next to him, Robert Morris and Brad Daniels there in P19. And Purdue University's Jeremy Miller and rolling off in the 20th position. Valparaiso University's Ricky Paz, and North Carolina at Charlotte's Jacob Wiest will bring 21 and 22. Lucas Santos in 23rd from the University of Minnesota, and Clemson University's Andrew Burrell in 24th. Through the balance of the field, we have Drexel University and Tim Wilms, and Minnesota State Mankato in 26th. Virginia and Thomas Toomey in 27th, followed by Matthew Burton for East Tennessee State University. Robert Morris University again in 29th, and Mount St. Mary's in 30th. And I do believe, Alex, on that note, it is time to go Gen 4 racing in the Garage Shop College Cup Series.
Absolutely. First time we get to say that for both the first race of the season here, but also the first Gen 4 race here in the history of the CiL. Morton and Halterman, Ohio State and UNC Charlotte will take them to the green flag. The pace car peels down pit road. Here they come into the restart zone. Green flags in the air, and we have Season 8 underway in the College Cup Series.
Down they go into turn one. All that horsepower fanning out 3-4 wide, as is tradition here at Auto Club Speedway. The 13 with a strong lead right now. You can see those cars all in trouble. I think there was some trouble in the back, but we stay green right now as these drivers are coming through up in the lead here. But yeah, I think somebody was maybe sideways, turned around in the wall right there. But the 13 car, and that is your Ohio State University machine up in the lead right now. Matthew Morton leading the way here early, Alex.
Yeah, he got off to a great start and is beginning to pull away. But you're absolutely right that it looked like some of those cars may have found some trouble, and I think the caution might finally be out here. It doesn't look like Morton's rolling too quick beyond the start-finish line. But I cannot confirm that off of our grid. Yeah, okay, so the caution is out, so we'll have an opportunity, hopefully, to go check out the replay in just a moment here and see what might have happened. It was definitely something in the entrance to turn one there. I mean, they got all sorts of bottled up. On board here with Andrew McCall. That's the 018. Gets a little bit of a tap from Jake Cummings, and then that'll send him around, and that'll do it.
That did look pretty difficult right there. Not the way you want to start the race.
No, certainly not, and especially in the Garage Shop College Cup Series with no fast repair. That very well could be the end of your night here on the opening corner. Jake Cummings very hard into that outside wall. The 007 having seen better days, as has that 018 from Purdue. So not an ideal start for a couple of our alumni returners. We'll take one more look here with the 07, and you just see gets a little too much into him going into the corner as McCall was trying to break into the corner, and everyone else has to get around and kind of scatter.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe there was a discrepancy on the who wanted to enter the corner at what speed. And here at Auto Club, there's a couple ways to get into the corner. You don't always have to agree with your buddy on the braking point or maybe the lift point. Even then, and again with the next gen car, Alex, that viewers have seen last season, is a pretty square bumper, and so contact like that would be difficult but manageable. But here, that front bumper gets up under that rear bumper, and then from there the back tires are off the ground, and there's not much to say about it.
No, there is not. And this is going to be a major adjustment, I feel like, for a lot of the drivers this season. I mean, we have run the Next Gen Cup car for several seasons now. And a lot of these drivers have gotten very comfortable driving that car. Having to suddenly pivot for the Gen 4 car, I mean, they were given several months of heads up, but obviously with it being close to finals and then moving out and all, you only have so much time in a day that you could be dedicating to your craft here in the sim racing world. So once you start getting comfortable with the car, I'm sure you'll have far less of those little discrepancies on track about where braking zones might be in the early going. But I can't say I'm particularly shocked, given that, new season, new car, new sort of atmosphere. Everything is going to take a little bit of time to feel itself out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so, and that would not be the first CIL event to be a little exciting at the start, but we'll get underway here. And it looks like drivers starting to go double file, and so that means that we're going to go green next time by. But yeah, Alex, I think that everybody will start to get it figured out, and there is some penalties upcoming. So if drivers have two dead-on tracks, they're called, or if they're at fault twice in one race, they're disqualified as well. So you have to choose your fouls wisely, we'll say.
Yeah, no doubt about that, but it looks like we are just about getting ready to go once again. I do believe the lights are out on the pace car, and as everyone is stacked back up here on the backstretch and ready to go, it will still be the same duo of Morton and Halterman up at the front here. Ohio State and UNC Charlotte will bring them to the green flag once again. It'll be St. Clair and North Texas sitting right behind them. 100 laps to cover here at Auto Club this evening, so still plenty of action as the pace car now coming out of turn number 4. He'll be bringing it down pit road. Currently on board here for Edwin Onofre, and now as the pace car peels off, it is time to get back to racing at Auto Club in the California 200. Green flag back in the air. Morton gets a great launch, and we are racing once again in California.
And they are quick again to get wide there. Everybody trying to get a pretty good jump on the restart. You can do that if you can manage the wheel spin. That's another variable that will set apart the skill sets of these drivers straight away. A lot of pace into that turn 1, but look at these drivers battling on back right there. You can see the Indiana University Dodge Charger machine. He's trying to get a little bit of draft and get some spots inside there. And looks like ETSU as well, we saw trying to move out and, not expose himself too much, but maybe make that pass around that number 7 Wingate University machine of Brandon Schulenberger.
Yeah, that is Cody Hunley in the 110, who's all over the back of Schulenberger right there, coming across the front stretch. Right behind them, you've got Drew Williams diving to the inside of Colin Culpa. That purple and white Clemson machine trying to dig on the bottom here to get around the reigning Alumni Series champion as he comes back up the corner. They are going to be side by side. This is the battle for the 7th position, as right ahead of them there is a battle for the lead. Morton still has it for the moment, but he has got cars coming all around him. Here comes Halterman diving to the inside. Zach DeWale looking outside, almost 3 wide for a second. But as they come off of 4, it'll be Clinton Halterman right there, not quite getting the run he needed off the corner. Morton will hold on to the position just for now, but he is only maybe half a car ahead as Halterman dives in once again. Morton taking about 3 lanes up from the bottom. Halterman's going to try and slide up ahead, coming off the corner here, able to do so. Morton stays back in line, new leader here in California.
That's right, Niner Esports and that 07 machine to the front. 02 trying to make a move, and maybe that 13 car just saving his tires a little bit. Again, lap 7 of 100 on your ticker. No need to. And a big slide right there from the 02. We talked about it coming off the corners. In fact, Clint Boyer even talked about coming off this Auto Club Speedway corner exit and lighting up the rear tires. But man, what car control from these drivers right now, and what a race up at the front here for the lead.
An absolute battle. Clint Halterman's got about 2.5 car lengths ahead of Zach DeWale, but then there's 4 cars and a blanket directly behind him. Edwin Onofre, Matthew Morton, Zach DeWale, and Brandon Schulenberger all there is chaos happening behind him as well. Culpa nearly clipped the wall as Hunley's trying to get to the inside of him. Right there, we are on board with Onofre. He is taking the high line around, trying to get the good run off the corner, trying to chase down Zach DeWale ahead of him. They are currently running 2nd and 3rd here as we hit lap number 9. Halterman leads for the moment. 2 lanes of cars file in behind him. And now that everything is starting to get spread out just a little bit, these drivers are going to have to start thinking about, if there is no one in the immediate range to pass, how do you manage the tires for a longer run here? But that is certainly not the conversation being had in the top 5, because there are still positions to be gained.
Yeah, we've got 9, and we'll complete 10 laps this time by, but you think it's 10 to go at this point as Wingate University trying to look underneath, but not quite doing it. Yeah, you can see that back end stepping out just right there, and you saw as well for reference. A couple laps ago, we were on board with that green machine of the University of North Texas. Big run off the corner, and that's what you're going to find at this Auto Club Speedway, especially here late at night with that 80-degree track temp that we talked about. There's going to be a lot up in the top right there. In fact, you can see Zach DeWale is checking his mirrors. He says, hey, I want some of that speed as well.
Yeah, and Auto Club is a big enough track where you can absolutely get some nice draft going down either of the front or the back stretches. We see Zach DeWale pulling right to the back of Clint Halterman, but then takes a different line into the corner, and that is a very viable strategy around here. Use the draft to pull up to the car ahead of you, and then get some fresh air on the nose going into the corner to try and find a different way around. Halterman throwing a little bit of a block there on DeWales. DeWale thought about going low, now comes back up high. He has a run going into the corner, looking to maybe reclaim the position on the outside. Edwin Onofre right in his tire tracks as well, and our pole sitter Matthew Morton starting to slide back a little bit, holding on the fourth, but maybe not for long, because here comes Colin Kolpa and Brandon Schulenberger.
Yeah, and there you can see right there for the lead down into turn 3. I think that UNC Charlotte was trying to keep their tires managed right there. Keep the car off the top right there, but that's going to slow his momentum off the corner. So yeah, he left that up top open right there. And St. Clair College, we know Zach DeWale putting on a big battle with plenty of drivers last season, and he's not going to let that mistake, if you will, go to waste, and he's going to be right there. And it looks like Edwin Onofre is also trying to make the most of this.
Yeah, Edwin Onofre has been right behind him every step of the way the past couple laps. Zach DeWale finally clearing Clint Halterman coming off of turn 2. He is very much in control now, and Edwin Onofre trying to follow him through on the outside. But his Zach DeWale dives back down low. He might not have that partner to pull back on. Here comes Matthew Morton as well. He is now sliding back up into the picture with all this battling going on for second and third. These top 4 cars are starting to pull away a little bit from the next chain of cars behind him. We see Colin Kolpa trying to find his way back around Brandon Schulenberger back there in 6th and 7th. He'll look to the way outside here. He's up in that top lane, and he'll try and get the run down the backstretch here, but closed off effectively by Brandon Schulenberger. And right now there is battling happening for second. There is battling for 7th. I mean, there's just a lot of action to keep track of all over the place here, and I think that's very conducive of when you can run multiple lanes in the corners here at Auto Club.
That is correct. And let's talk about that Indiana car for a minute, Alex. You can see that purple lap time. There's only one to give out. Right now it belongs to the University of Indiana, who has rifled his way through the field. In fact, 4 wide, but no matter. He has gone around. He just passed that Wingate machine. He's keeping that ETSU machine behind him. And what a drive right now for Kolpa, who's in the wall. Kolpa is in the wall, and that is not what you want to do. We talked about it's going to be an issue there for drivers who want to stay in the gas and scoot that rear end around and get off the corner, and that was not what he needed to do. Passed by Purdue and now under fire from Northeast State Technical, and that's not going to be much of a competition here. He's going to have to take another lap or so to get that momentum back in that Dodge Charger, Alex.
Yeah, that's probably about the most brutal case of commentator's curse I've seen in a little while here. We were just talking about how he was having quite the good run, and then the moment we couldn't even finish that before he clips the wall going through 1 and 2 and has to drop back quite a few positions. He was running 7th. Now he's currently scored in the 11th position here, battling Northeast State Technical and Jason Willott in Drexel University. So not an ideal situation there for the reigning alumni champ. But back up at the front of the field, I mean, there is still a lot of battling to be had in that top 4. I mean, you see Zach DeWale just doing everything right now, trying to hold on to the lead. Edwin Onofre trying to close off the gap on Morton. An aggressive block there to hold on to second place. And the two of them are going to try and get the run on Zach DeWale here on lap number 16. That could have been really dicey, but done effectively there by Onofre. And he'll hold on to second as now he whips it to the outside. He's into the wall. He'll drop it back to at least 4th, maybe 5th if Drew Williams can catch him. He came into turns 1 and 2 with a full head of steam. And just was not able to get that car settled enough to make the corner.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you already called it, Alex, but it wouldn't be a race up here if we didn't have some Clemson machine trying to mess up the front runners here. But man, Clemson taking their time has decided now is the appropriate moment to use their tires, and that's the 23 of Drew Williams. But Clemson University on a tear right now, and you can see he's going to complete that press pretty casually on North Texas right there, and he's going to set his sights on that UNC Charlotte machine.
Zach DeWale in St. Clair College still holding on to the slightest of leads right now, as a little bit of a wiggle there from Ohio State, and Matthew Morton will force him to drop firmly into second. Clint Halterman had come up the track there trying to take second away, but he'll have to settle for third at the moment as he'll dive in behind Morton here as they both look to the inside of Zach DeWale. DeWale will get the speed coming off the corner if he doesn't get slid in front of. Morton thought about it for a second, elected against it, but they will be side by side at the line here on lap 18. You couldn't ask for much better battling at the front here once everyone got the opening lap jitters out of the way, Josh.
I was going to say, it's no surprise to see these drivers. And look at this track, man. Auto Club Speedway, got to be a top 10 venue for motorsports, because you're down on the bottom. If you're UNC Charlotte, you're up on the top. If you're Zach DeWale there for the St. Clair College team. Both of those cars very well matched. And obviously Ohio State can't leave them out of this. And can he complete that slide job? The 13 is going to try and slide up off the corner. Can he get it done? I don't think so. I think St. Clair College is going to have some momentum, but that was a good set of corners from that 13 machine.
He would have been cleared just enough to try and slide in front, but he was not clear enough to do it without getting the rear end of that car blasted by the nose of the O2, so he elected against it wisely. Thinks about it this time, able to complete the slide job that time around. Matthew Morton and Ohio State back to the front here on lap 19, but here comes DeWale. He's not content with being in second. He'll dive right back to the inside, looking to reclaim the lead coming off of turn number 4. Clint Halterman all over the back of the both of them. There is 3 cars all within a split second of each other here, battling for the lead here in the inaugural race of Season 8 for the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Gotta love the action you're seeing here up front. All 3 of these cars have traded the lead back and forth here through the opening going. And right now it's hard to tell which one of them I think has saved the most tire here on this run, because they've all been burning a good bit trying to get by each other.
Yeah, this is entertaining, but I tell you who I got my eye on, if anything happens, is going to be the Clemson University in 4th place and North Texas there in 5th place. Those 2 drivers have been a little more patient from this group, and in fact we know, Alex, that Edwin Onofre, pretty vocal about his driving style. It's a big slide right there from Zach DeWale, St. Clair College, but Onofre, we know that his goal is to be as smooth as he can and be there in the end, and we've seen that work for him a number of times.
Yeah, has not resulted in a CiL victory just yet, but he does have a number of CiL top 5s to his name over the seasons he's competed here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. So certainly no stranger to running up front. It's just a matter of closing it out and pulling one home when it's all said and done. But as this is going, I mean, it's a 100-lap race. You've got 5 sets of tires. Obviously, no one's going to be coming down pit road just yet, but should there be a caution anytime soon, I'd imagine a lot of folks will be coming down pit road to get 4 fresh rubbers on there, just through the nature of you have enough to spare.
Yeah, that would be, and we'll have to see where the lap times really fall off here, but big contact with the wall for St. Clair College, that blue machine, and you can see that's going to open the door for Clemson pretty casually. So that pass now completed, and ETSU is now going to go to work on the University of North Texas.
Yeah, he is creeping up onto the back there. That is the 110 of Cody Hundley out of ETSU. Both of these cars here between North Texas and ETSU, these are the highest running alumni cars in the field to my understanding. So while they may be battling for 5th on track right now, this is battling for the alumni division lead. The College Cup Series will keep track of both the student division and alumni division standings as the season progresses. So there is a lot at stake here. Even though I know it's still early and there's plenty of race to go, but both of these drivers would love to pick up the first class win of the year, even if they don't get the overall victory. So there is going to be a lot of battling to be had between those 2 cars as they currently run nose to tail here, diving into turn number 3.
Yeah, that is totally the case, and these drivers right here, ETSU, going to say, man, look at that rear end slide out, and he is using up those tires. He's going to see if he can make the low line work on this North Texas machine, and I'm interested to see, Alex. He's going to try and get down there. He's going to be side by side as they go down into turn 1, but I'm not sure if he'll opt for the slide job right here. I don't know. Again, maybe Edwin would be a little bit polite right here, but yeah, I think that Pontiac is just going to try, but that 199 car is going to have a big run off the corner.
Yeah, certainly looking like it was not able to complete the slide there coming off of turn 2, and they are still side by side going down the backstretch here. Obviously, being on the low line there, Hunley has to really drive it in deep and hope to slide in front of Onofre. Onofre is going to have a great run coming off the corner, though, and will try and utilize that to his advantage. As the 110 is in the wall, and the 199 will cruise right on by. A bit of a mistake there for the driver out of ETSU, clipping the wall coming off of turn 4, halting a lot of momentum, and now finds himself exactly where he was about 3 laps ago, which is 2 car lengths behind the car out of North Texas.
It does, and you can tell by the top of our scoring tower that, Alex, we've got a moment to breathe. And so a couple things that I've been watching around here, as you can see, Colin Culpa, we talked about him for the Indiana drivers. Also talked about this Purdue machine, a couple of Big Ten drivers and friends in real life. That Purdue machine is going to be a car that's fast all season long. And this is a fun little battle hanging out. In fact, we talked about Cody Hunley. Kent Hunley, again from Northeast College, is going to be just trying to get around that Purdue machine and see if he can either save his tires or make quick work moving forward. But these cars have been about nose to tail or so, just like this for a little bit, and then a little bit back further in the pack. Again, that Wingate machine trying to make his move. University of Virginia coming along there in that Thomas Toomey machine, that white car that you see there, and he's trying to make his way towards the University, or Arizona State University, back up ahead right there. But that's Connor Levy up in that machine. In fact, in the wall is the 14. 14 in the wall, and that's going to make it very easy for the Cavalier to go around the low side. And now under fire from North Carolina at Charlotte again, Jacob Weiss not leaving too much room as he completes the pass, tries to get back up there. You can see that 600 car really enjoying the high line. But yeah, we talk about it's a momentum car and a momentum track. And Alex, that makes it very tricky if you are trying to keep your momentum up.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Right now we're on board here a little farther back as Jacob Weiss now back under fire from Connor Levy. Levy looking back to the inside here, clipped the wall and lost a couple of spots. He's trying to pull back forward again, gets around the 600 Jacob Weiss, slides up, clips the wall again. Anytime we've seen him on camera, it's been a nightmare for the driver of the 14. Definitely not ideal. I almost feel like we should take the camera off any sort of area in the 14, otherwise that might keep happening. Might be some bad luck going on there. But I think it might be a prime time to do a quick rundown of our top 10 as they currently run. In the lead as it stands, it is the pole sitter Matthew Morton out of Ohio State, or the Ohio State, apologies. He is currently running about 0.7 of a second ahead of second place's Clint Halterman out of UNC Charlotte. And the caution is out. Whoa, what happened there? Someone, Northeast State Technical, plummeting down and the entire front end of the car is missing. What has happened to Ken Hunley? Oh no!
That's that's not how you're supposed to have your front end there. That's not a good situation at all. But let's look back and see if we can observe here. It looks like Kent was going into the corner. Looks like he's trying to get around a damaged 007. Not sure how that car was damaged, but touch. Oh, they touched right there. So a little bit tight. And viewers of the Darlington race this Sunday will see that a little bit more familiar. But not sure kind of what the goal there was. Maybe just trying to make that pass follow through right there. And that was the result. Just a little bit tight in the corner, probably.
I'm not a betting man, but if I had to guess, it looked like Hunley there thought they looked like they had the run on the car ahead of them, and thought they were clear of the damaged car of Jake Cummings and was trying to slide up and around, to my understanding, and just wasn't quite clear enough. But here comes everyone down to pit road here, the first pit stop of the night. It'll be Morton bringing everyone down as everyone's starting to look for their pit box, and then we'll dive in. And this could be a critical early one here, as a lot of the cars who were up front early stayed up front. They had the speed, so if you're a little farther back, a good pit stop here could really help you out.
It could, and these drivers are going to go up on the tracks and try to beat each other. You see North Texas there had to back up in the box. That's not going to be good for business as these tires now come down off the jack stand, and there they go. it looks like the Ohio State Buckeyes will complete the race off pit road again.
Yeah, they will hold on to at least the lead for those who came down pit road as everyone's starting to file off here. If the timing tower is to be believed, though, I think there is a chance that Dustin Buck of Waldorf University may have stayed out, which means he would cycle to the lead if that was the case. The other option, meaning he could have been a lap down and is coming down pit road this time. Not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but we will keep an eye on that, and it'll be either him or Matthew Morton who will assume control of this race.
Yeah, that's a strategy, you know, if cautions breed cautions, and we've seen how exciting it is when the cars aren't all bunched up. Maybe Waldorf University thinking that, hey, we're going to have another caution here, and maybe I can come back down pit road. But what does he do? Looks like Dustin Buck is going to make his way down pit road, possibly put a hammer behind that front air dam, and see if he can buff that out. But we'll see how that goes. But you are correct that back to the point, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, and it looks like both of the top two cars as it ran before the caution will continue to be the top two cars. They were also 1-2 in qualifying. Right now they battle between Matthew Morton out of The Ohio State and Clint Halterman out of UNC Charlotte. ETSU and Clemson rolling in third and fourth just behind. It is Drew Williams for Clemson. It is Cody Hundley for ETSU. And then back in fifth, it's Zach DeWale, who's already led a number of laps tonight. Rounding out your top 10, it appears to be Jacob Wiest out of UNC Charlotte. It is then Drexel's Jason Willott in 7th. Jeremy Millerin out of the University of Purdue in 8th. 9th appears to be Thomas Toomey out of the University of Virginia. And currently in 10th, it is Edwin Onofre from the University of North Texas as they currently run after the pit cycle.
Yeah, these drivers getting ready to go. It's going to be should be a good battle all over, Alex. We are 31 laps down. We're going to cross over here. That'll complete our 31st lap. So almost a third of the way through this race, mostly green. Very exciting for these drivers. And I'll tell you who I'm watching is we talked about new faces. That Ohio State Buckeye machine is going to be fast. I mean, they're going to be fast all season long if this is as much as half of an indication. As is that ETSU machine at Pontiac right behind. But, Alex, it's time to go green. The flag is in the air. We'll see when that 13 picks it up. There he goes. You can see Clemson University also making a good move on the inside. He's not letting that 0-7 down there. And so that's Clint Halterman and Niner Esports. They're going to have to stay up high. Really not using much of the track at all is Clemson University, but it doesn't matter. Down into the corner, who is going to get the run off here? Everybody with fresh tires and surely fresh confidence, Alex, as they come up off turn 2.
Yeah, it's a balancing act, especially in these cars on the fresh tires, because on one hand, you know you'll have the grip once they settle in a little bit, and you can be a lot more aggressive in the passes you try to make early in a run. But at the same time, it's going to take a couple of laps, especially on a cold track surface, to get them up the temp to have that grip that you need. So you have to really be careful walking that line, as right behind them, it looked like Jason Willott and Jacob Wiest almost got into it coming off the corner. Wiest had to check up a little bit. So not sure if there was any contact there, but I do know it got really dicey between Drexel and UNC Charlotte coming off the corner. He's going to try and work his way back on the outside. He's a little farther ahead. His teammate of UNC Charlotte is trying to hold off Drew Williams and Clemson. Looking to the inside here, going into turn number 3. And now it is sorry, that's not Andrew. That is Zach DeWale and Jason Willott. This is currently the battle for 5th and 6th. You see Willott trying to run that outside, trying to get the run down the straightaway. But right now, 5th place very much in the hands of St. Clair College and Zach DeWale.
Yeah, that looks to be the pace, and these cars sound so good as they dive down into turn 1. Man, what a good sound, Alex, as these cars up off the corner. Big slide from the 23 there of Drew Williams. Will that make an opportunity for North Carolina at Charlotte, as we talked about Jason Willott trying to make a move down low, and a little bit of excitement here on lap 34. The 76 down into the corner. He's going to be really tight washing up that track. Zach DeWale given just the right amount of room. And off the corner, can he maintain that run? That was fair play from both sides there, Alex. But Zach DeWale and St. Clair College showing just why they are the powerhouse they are right there. Didn't take too much risk really knew what that car was doing down low.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where it's definitely fair play for both sides, but if I'm Zach DeWale, I'm a little annoyed that Wallet tried sending it in deep down there, because that car washed up a good lane or so, and luckily for DeWale, in his case, he was giving him about a lane and a half of room. Now, this time, Wallet looking to the outside back there in 5th and 6th, as the battle ahead of them continues. It is Hundley on the outside of Halterman here, trying to pull into 3rd place behind Morton, and as we were talking here, Drew Williams got around Matthew Morton. He assumes control of the lead here on lap 38. Yet another leader here in the California 200, the season opener for the Garage Shop College Cup Series. And Drew Williams still looking for his first ever CiL victory, despite being a long-time series competitor. He now finds himself in the hot seat here with everyone breathing down his neck.
Yeah, he is, and I'll tell you who has been slowly and steadily moving up is Cody Hundley in that ETSU machine. He's got that thing pretty well hooked up as he tries to go around. He's going to have that high side here, and we'll see how they save tires. But, yeah, that's going to be a lot of pace. Although he is under a little bit of fire from that 07 machine, North Carolina at Charlotte.
Yeah, Clint Halterman has been trying to hold on to the 3rd place position for several laps now on that inside. He gets a really good opportunity to do so as he gets really sliding up the corner there, able to close off 3rd for now, but he's got Zach DeWale to his inside. All 3 of those cars on top of each other as it stands. DeWale on the inside trying to get back up to this lead battle of Morton, who is just absolutely all over the bumper of Drew Williams right now. There's a lot going on here, but if you were these cars running 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you got to be trying to manage both the front of the race and the race behind you. You know, you're trying to not let the leaders get too far away from you, but you also don't want to get past and drop a couple of positions to the guys hanging right behind you.
No, that's totally correct. And once somebody makes a hole, a little bit reminiscent of short tracks of old, but perhaps at much higher speeds, yeah, once you start slipping, it's really hard to come back. And as you know, you're going to be pushed offline a little bit, or maybe you're not your preferred line. As big right there, 13, not quite able to close the door. But the 23 right there now hanging tough on the high side. Can he get a run? That's Drew Williams. Can he maintain his pace around the outside? And it's looking pretty good for Ohio State as they go down in this corner. I think he's got that lead in hand for the moment, but we'll see if the 23 can battle back on the outside.
Yeah, there is a great battle for the lead happening right here as we are on lap 39. Morton trying to close the door. Here comes Williams diving to the inside now. Little switchover move, and now it'll be Clemson on the inside diving into turns 3 and 4. The Ohio State on the outside trying to defend. And all this battling has let UNC Charlotte and Clinton Halterman pull back into the picture here. Halterman's having himself a great race. He's been in the mix all evening long. And just behind them, Zach DeWale and Cody Hundley are going door-to-door here. That's the battle for 4th and 5th. Jason Willett right behind them. But they were right next to each other coming through the straightaway. Now taking very different lines through the corner, and it'll be Zach DeWale trying to slide back up in front, able to do so for the moment. And everyone has to kind of file back into this draft line here on lap number 40.
Yeah, man, look at those cars slide around. We talk about the next-gen car does have a lot of grip. A little bit harder to drive than, of course, the Gen 6 that we know, but yeah, no big diffuser on the bottom of these cars. These drivers are wheeling it right now, and you can see that as they go around in Auto Club. Again, the perfect venue, I think, Alex, to open up our season at.
Well, Auto Club gave us a thrilling finish when we were here back in the spring for the Season 7 with the Next Gen Cup cars. So far, putting on an absolute treat so far, hoping for a finish something like we did see last year when Tim Robb pulled a miraculous victory out here. If it's the race I'm thinking of, although that may have also been Las Vegas. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but I'm pretty sure it was Auto Club. But as we look here a little deeper through the field, oh wow, Lucas Santos nearly sideways through turns 3 and 4. Santos had been slowly working his way through the field, started back in the mid-20s. Now that University of Minnesota car up all the way into 15th, but that could have been cataclysmic as that car was pointed very much the wrong direction when we cut to him.
No, it was, but Lucas Santos, again, he's got that car control from that Formula 4 side. Yeah, now he's got, again, from the Formula 4 side, he's got to maintain that momentum, and that's going to be the tricky part as that car tries to get up and the Gopher under attack a little bit from, you can see the Indiana machine behind, and I actually did not notice that the Indiana machine was so far back there. It maybe was a questionable pit stop, but nonetheless, Lucas Santos, he knows that he's got to make this thing happen. In a good position, certainly, he can go ahead and come back with a couple pit stops. No sweat here for the Gopher.
Yeah, we still have over half this race to go, only on lap 43. And just behind them, a great battle going on. That is Jeff Pete from the University of Minnesota trying to hold off another ETSU car. That is Matthew Burton in the 33. Burton all over the back of Jeff Pete here as he dives to the inside, looking to clear the 119 and continue the charge toward the front. Able to slide up ahead of Pete just for the moment. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? Looks like he'll be able to hold on to that position. Matthew Burton now claiming 17th over Jeff Pete as the field is starting to really get spread out here. Our leader, Matthew Morton, over a second ahead of second place Clint Halterman as it currently stands. And then behind them, he gets bundled up a little bit for third, fourth, and fifth between Halterman, Williams, and Zach DeWale before it starts to fan back out again through the remainder of the top 15.
Yeah, and you can see a couple times now that Morton has started to check out. He can manage what he wants with his tires, but Drew Williams in a bit of a unique spot here. He's got to manage a car behind and a car ahead, and that can be a little bit tricky, especially as those drivers are trying to push you off your line, and you won't have the same tire management that you get to have. But very exciting to see up front. We've had a race full of action here, Alex. You can see the 0-2 now. Zach DeWale trying to see if he can make a move on the inside. And we've seen drivers put their cars there to the inside all night long, and the question has been, can they maintain the momentum coming off? So in this case, looks like Clemson University is, we expect you'd be a little bit slower into the corner, and then, from the center of the corner off, man, those flames are cooking from Clemson, and off the corner there. I don't know who's going to be first to the line, but yet another race on our hands, Alex.
Yeah, and speaking of race here, while we're looking at second, third, and fourth, our leader Matthew Morton trying to clear some lap traffic had some battling to deal with there. He had cleared Brandon Schulenberger, but there was another car who I believe it may have been Andrew McCall, who he was fighting with for a couple of laps there. McCall now one lap down, currently running in the 25th position. But Morton had to clear some traffic at first there, and now it looks like he'll be able to Matthew Morton will be able to clear on with some clean track ahead of him here for quite some time, as the couple of cars that he did lap were a bit off the pace of the leaders.
Yeah, and something I noted on that 018 machine for McCall, the paint is off the left side of that car. You're supposed to put it in the wall. I don't know. Maybe he's had an issue with the car to his inside there. That would explain some of the paint, but that's not how you're supposed to look there as you get around this Auto Club Speedway. That can happen sometimes. So Andrew McCall and Purdue University riding comfortably in that position and in a good position for the lucky dog if that comes up. But right now, the battle continues between Clemson and St. Clair College. These drivers going at it. Tires notwithstanding, neck and neck as we cross the line and have completed 48 of 100 laps.
Yeah, and as we're nearing the halfway point, a lot of drivers might be thinking now what they have to do for their closing half of the race pit strategy, because cautions are not a guarantee. You'd think they'd happen, but we've only had 2 thus far through the opening half. So there's not necessarily a guarantee that there is another one, but there will be a guarantee that you'll have to come down pit road more than likely to top off on fuel and probably put a few fresh tires on there before this one's all said and done, especially if you're sliding it the way Drew Williams is there. Man, that car didn't get straightened out until the Geico restart zone. That's how sideways he was coming off of turn 4. Holding on just barely to the third position now, and an absolute prize fight with Zach DeWale for third right now. This has easily been one of the longer battles on track here, just between 2 cars that hasn't been for the lead. I mean, they've been fighting for this position for the better half of 4 or 5 laps now.
No, they certainly have, and Clemson University has the upper hand for the moment. But you can see that Zach DeWale And St. Clair College has really enjoyed trying to run that lower line right now. And that's going to be something that these drivers have to figure out as we get kind of to the midpoint and then to the end of the race, because the question will come up for these drivers: who is going to keep that pit stop in their pocket, and what are the discrepancies in lap times?
Yeah, 100%. As we now have hit the midway point of this race, Morton still with a less than a second lead, but near a second over Clint Halterman. Then it is Williams, DeWale, and Thomas Toomey rounding out the top 5. And as I say that, Toomey actually got passed by Cody Hundley for 5th. But then Willott, Garrett Vitton, Jeremy Millerin, and Jacob Weiss round out the rest of your top 10 as they currently run. On board here with Thomas Toomey as he is trying to defend the 5th position from ETSU and Cody Hundley. That all-white 166 car currently cruising in the 5th position. He knows how to get the job done here in the CiL and looking to repeat that success here tonight on the slow but steady charge forward.
Yeah, that's correct. And you can see up on the board there the best lap times. Still, the University of Indiana and Colin Copa has that purple lap time, but you want to know, Alex, how much tire fall off is there? Well, there's at least a second, maybe 2 seconds in some cases, where these are the laps that these drivers are running, and that green is showing the best that they've done. Big slide out of Garrett Vitton in that 42 machine off the corner, but he caught it, and it seems to be the trend tonight. Yeah, but lost a lot of momentum. Now he's a late and cheeky block up to the front, and I do see a yellow out on track.
Where, oh where could this caution could have come from? I did not really see anyone plummet down the table the way we did with the previous caution, so I'm curious to see where the yellow may have came from. We're working on getting the replay right here, and that, if I've seen anything, looks like a car getting a little too throttle happy going through the corner and spinning out there, Josh.
Yeah, I think so, and that will trigger iRacing's sideways car indicator, and so that'll give us a chance to rack them back up. But yeah, just a little bit sideways, I think, there for Athena. But yeah, it's so tricky as you come off, and you see that big California straightaway, Alex. It is pretty difficult when you're looking like that. So.
Yeah, so luckily for the rest of the field, though, not too many other drivers involved, just the single car spin there for Athena Leclerc and St. Clair College. So with it being lap 53, I do imagine we'd see everyone coming back down pit road here. It's been a good 20 to 25 laps since the last caution. And if the rate we're going here with the amount of tires they have left, I'd imagine we'll see most people opt to jump in and grab four fresh tires and top off on fuel till the end of this race. But we'll see as they near pit road entries here who's going to come in and who isn't. Looks like everyone's thinking about it for the moment, and here comes the crowd gumming down the pit road. Everyone's checking down to pit road speed, and yep, looks like it's going to be everyone.
The party has started, and who can hit their box this time? You see Ohio State University, they're going to have the front running pit stop and the box, and Clemson, St. Clair College back there as well. Edwin Onofre will be one to watch in that University of North Texas machine as he tries to hit his box this time, and pretty good. A little bit slow in for the Buckeyes right there, and North Texas getting it right this time, and all these drivers, as you can see, the pit stops get better and shuffle. Wingate University as well in the top of your screen, and it looks like Clemson University is underway and going to retain that third place position, and yeah, so strong in that first box, that pit stop for the Buckeyes. But a little bit back in the field, we can see the 106 car for Purdue University as well, and North Carolina at Charlotte. So a couple of these drivers getting it set up on pit road, and yeah, again, University of Indiana right there in the middle. That's P16 for Colin Copa at the moment. So these drivers will have another chance, Alex, with little under 50 laps to go, little under halfway. Still have to manage the tires, but confidence is renewed once again.
Absolutely. This is going to be a big sigh of relief for anyone who may have been really cooking the tires in the early part of that run, trying to gain a couple of positions off the previous restart. And whenever you're on fresh tires, it allows you to be that much more aggressive on these opening couple of laps. And it could be an opportunity for this field to really get shuffled up, but so far, not entirely, but for the most part, the cars who have been up front have stayed up front through the opening half of this California 200. And I'd imagine if it's anything like the previous couple restarts, that trend may continue.
Yeah, I think that'll be the case. It'll be pretty exciting, for these drivers who are in that mid position. We talked about the Minnesota Gopher and Lucas Santos. He's moved his way up to 16th position where he's scored right now. Maybe 16th or 17th, depending on his relative relation to the Ryan Wilson machine down below. But it's going to be another opportunity, again, in his oval debut. And what an event, Alex, to have your first oval race. Lucas Santos and the University of Minnesota. This one's a doozy, but you gotta assume that he's learning a ton behind the wheel.
100%. He's not the only one making his debut tonight. I know Tyler Klingensmith for Robert Morris is also making his oval debut. Currently running 23rd, not super high up on the table, but having just a clean, comfortable race, and the second rendition of the RMU famous cow car. But they are getting ready to go back to green flag racing, I believe, so we'll jump back up to the front of the field. The lights are off on the pace car. The familiar duo up at the front of the field here for this restart. It'll be Morton on the inside for Ohio State. It'll be Halterman on the outside for UNC Charlotte, Williams and DeWale behind him. Pace car peels off on the pit road. They are going toward the Geico restart zone. Green flags up in the air, and we are racing once again at Auto Club.
That's right, and a really good start from Ohio State. Down to the bottom dives Indiana as well, trying to go 3 wide and looking at St. Clair College. The Buckeyes to the point right now, but the battle is 3 wide behind for a moment, and we agree to go 2 wide here. UNC Charlotte going to have a great run off the corner, but with fresh tires, can the 23 hang close? That's going to be that Chevrolet trying to make the most of that bottom line right there. He's going to have a good opportunity to get in the corner here, but he decides, nah, I don't need to do that right now. I'm going to keep my upper position.
Yeah, so everyone kind of settling out through the opening 4 here, and then behind them, that's where the chaos begins once again with Hundley and Onofre. And then I do believe that is Jeremy Miller, and just behind them, a little cluster of alumni drivers in the midst of a lot of student drivers up here running 5th, 6th, and 7th. So they are very much battling each other for position, but also for an alumni class division lead, as right now it is Jeremy Miller on the inside here of the both of them trying to get a run down the straightaway. But right now, all those cars in the draft are going to have just that much more top-end speed with the help of the draft here, that it's going to be really tough to by yourself make any moves on the inside unless you really dive it in like Millerin did there. A little bit of contact for Onofre. They keep going, but the caution is out for something else on the track. Yellow lights are on once again to bring out the 4th caution of the evening. Looks like may have been one of the Wingate cars. I thought I saw them move down the tail, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to check the replay.
Check the replay, we will. Yeah, North Texas. Maybe a little bit surprised there by the 100 car, or excuse me, the Purdue machine. But not sure. And also looking for, wasn't the most wild of yellow flags that we've had. Unfortunately, not seeing anything really. This is just the replay at the time of yellow flag. North Texas trying to get their car sorted. Yeah, I wonder if he thought maybe that car was a little bit closer to him on the low side. We know that that wouldn't be unreasonable to have a driver on the low side trying to get back to the gas who has to chase that car all the way up the track, and thus you would be in danger. But anyways, Alex, going back at it here, that was the University of North Texas that we were riding on board for that time, and would be pretty surprised if these drivers came down to pit road. I know that they have just done so, so that may be a little bit outside the box. Yeah,
I mean, it certainly would be. Oh, someone is backwards on the straightaway. one of the UNC Charlotte cars, and there's actually several cars who are going back. There's a car in the grass, and looks like Jacob Weist had to get it forward again. Looks like Austin DeLong. I don't know what happened there, but I think people may have gotten bottled up as they were trying to catch back up to the pace car, and that could have caused some damage to a couple of cars, as it looks like several folks dropped back in the field.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure where that came from, but yeah, a couple of red marks showing up on the screen here, and these drivers coming back up to the front. You had mentioned, were they trying to catch? Yeah, not sure. Just contact, shades of LMP3 and dentistry right there. But yeah, just trying to get caught up to the pack, and it almost looked like they were caught up. I just don't know quite what the car. I believe that was Austin DeLong.
It was, yeah, the DG
who
Motorsports car
was racing as well. So
yeah, DeLong and Weist caught up to the field, and then DeLong just kept going. It looks like, I don't know if that was just didn't realize that's where everyone was, or what happened there, but I mean, he got all of the back of the 600 car, and sideways they go. So that might tack on an extra lap to the pacing lap here to get that all sorted out.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes of that, but nonetheless, yeah, a little bit of excitement there. But back up at the front, Drew Williams did net himself that third position for the time being, and I think that might be okay, Alex. He does seem to manage the bottom side. Okay, he's the momentum is still up on the top, but I think that Clemson machine will be okay down there.
Yeah, and with the lights out on the pace car, didn't look like there was much of any takers for pit road, except for one of the Wingate cars who may have been the initial caution, although that is very much unconfirmed. But right now, the top four remains as we've seen it for most of the early part of this race here. Where things start getting shuffled up a little bit is that third row. It'll be Cody Hundley on the inside, Jeremy Millerin on the outside, and then you've got Edwin Onofre behind them, Connor Levy behind them. So certainly a lot of talent running up here inside the top 10, and then just outside the top 10 you have Jacob Weist and Austin DeLong. I wonder how they're going to be racing each other after that little scuffle there during the pacing lap. So certainly a lot to keep an eye on here as we get ready to go racing once again from Auto Club Speedway. Currently on lap 60, they'll take the green. On lap 61, it'll be Matthew Morton, Clint Halterman once again to take the restart. Yeah,
not very aerodynamic on the front of that Austin DeLong machine. But nonetheless, up at the front, that is Matthew Morton, the control car from Ohio State University. He'll get in that Geico restart zone, and he is gone. He is flying out. And you can see Drew Williams trying to make his most of that bottom side.
Williams down to the inside here, trying to look to get past Clint Halterman. Halterman didn't get a great jump, but he's able to recover well enough to hold on to second place for now. DeWale and Williams all over the back of him, and here comes the Purdue car of Jeremy Millerin into the mix as well. While all this is going on here, Morton is checked out to a 3 or 4 car length advantage there for Ohio State. They are fanning out 3 wide behind him. Now it is Williams to the inside of DeWale looking for third. Here comes Miller, and Connor Levy has entered the scene as well. He's now up to 6th. He's trying to find his way up to Millerin, as Millerin thought about diving to the inside of Williams, but thought against it there going in the 1 and 2.
Yeah, these drivers working so hard at the bottom side. Big wiggle right there from the 42 machine. Garrett Vitton, Arizona State University. Sun Devils getting a little bit hot on those rear tires. Now Purdue University to the outside of Clemson. We've seen this show before. And look at that slip angle. That's what you need from that Camaro right there is Purdue. He's got the room outside. He's got the run. It's going to be pretty even going down into turn 1. And that's going to be a big opportunity for Purdue.
I think there's trouble for Connor Levy in the back of the field. There is an Arizona State car plummeting down the standings. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he is slow on the front stretch. He was running in somewhere in the top 15, now scored back in 26th and well off the pace. So something may have occurred there, but certainly not what you want to see if you are Connor Levy or anyone following Arizona State here this evening. Also, my apology, that is Garrett Vitton, who was running 6th earlier when I said that was Levy. Levy is the yellow Sun Devils car. Vitton is the red Sun Devils car. Meanwhile, here, back up at the front of the field, it is Andrew Williams trying to defend the position from Jeremy Miller, and Miller in the draft, going around the outside here, trying to get the run back off the straightaway. Williams trying to fight back through the middle of the corner. They will be side by side for the moment, but Williams might have to slip back into the draft here because they are pulling away from him.
Yeah, he will. We talked about that momentum. Yeah, if you're a Purdue machine, you really don't want to go down low. You don't want to give up that momentum. And so no need to pull out from behind that 0-2. Let St. Clair College give you the toe. So right there, trying to block down low. A big slip from the 23 right now. And yeah, St. Clair College really not sure who to block here at this moment. That's going to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, there is a lot to navigate here if you're any of those cars in the top 5. They have pulled away from the rest of the field here. Garrett Vitton in 6th looks a lot smaller in the rear view than he did even a couple of laps ago, as these front 5 are starting to check out just a little bit, especially the front 2 cars of Morton and Halterman. You see them battling just ahead of this pack for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Williams now has cleared Miller, and just for the moment, trying to find his way past DeWale, got really loose off the corner, looked to use it as a run going down the inside, but DeWale blocks it away here on lap 66, still holding on to that 3rd podium position.
Lap 66, I cannot believe we have a third of this race to go, Alex, but so much going on with the track here. These tires are going to start to wear out a little bit as the Clemson machine continues to work on the 0-2. But guess what we said? Ohio State University had checked out, but I spy up at the front Niner Esports, and Halterman trying to come back with that Chevy Impala. He's going to try and make that move, and I guess we all agree the low side is the place to be in this episode.
Yeah, all of a sudden it looks like where people might want to be running on the track has shifted just a little bit, at least for the time being. Matthew Morton trying to hold off Clint Halterman just for the moment. They both went to the low side through 3 and 4. How about through 1 and 2? Halterman goes low. Looks like Morton chose the middle, but is coming back down low to try and take away the corner exit there of Halterman. And as this battle continues, there is still side-by-side action for 3rd and 4th. Andrew Williams just clearing Zach DeWale. He's now going to try and use that to pull all the way up to the lead 2 cars, but Zach DeWale says, not so fast, I'm not done with you just yet. And that battle will reignite here coming through 3 and 4.
Yeah, those drivers hard at work as they go through. Williams, again, is going to have to hold off as he goes up to the little bit of time right here. Spaced out maybe by a car length, the top 5 are. So some breathing room right there, but it all goes away as we get to the center of the corner. And then maybe he comes back a little bit. But yeah, 0-2 looking really good right now.
Yeah, and everyone's starting to get a little single-filed out here as this run has continued. And this is really the time where you start thinking, okay, how can I preserve what's left of my tires to extend it longer than the guy ahead of me and the guy behind me and turn that into a competitive advantage as this run goes on? Because you're no longer necessarily in a position where you're just going to go throw it into the corner and pass them on pure speed. So you really got to make sure that you're going to outlast your opponent and make it all the way to the end of this run in better shape than they are. Is now Andrew Williams going to be one of the lone takers to the top side, trying to get the big boost down the backstretch here, coming off the top of the corner as opposed to coming up the bottom. Yeah, we'll have to see if that works out for him. We got a great run down the backstretch because of it. Looking to the high side once again here. Actually more the middle lane, but Halterman and DeWale both looking low. So still a lot of varying strategies on how to get around this 2-mile oval.
Yeah, there are, and again, Morton now with an opportunity to check out in UNC Charlotte. Not quite sure whether to defend or race forward, and yeah, you got to assume that it's right now we're getting to a little bit of a tire management stage, and I think we're seeing slowly that Ohio State tends to have an upper hand right there.
Yeah, so as they currently run, it is Morton in the lead, Halterman second, Williams third, DeWale in fourth, and Miller in fifth. Then it is Vighton behind in sixth place. Seventh is Cody Hunley out of ETSU. 8th, it is Edwin Onofre from North Texas. 9th is, I believe, Jacob Weist out of UNC Charlotte. And 10th is currently Colin Kolpa out of the University of Indiana here, as we're now south of 30 laps to go. Thomas Toomey there in 11th, trying to find his way past the Indiana machine. Christian Brian Hill out of Mount St. Mary's currently running in the 12th position. Jason Willott holding on to 13th ahead of Matthew Burton in 14th. 15th there is Jeff Pete for the University of Minnesota. 16th it is Athena Leclerc. 17th going back is Andrew McCall. Then back into the 18th position, you see Bradley Daniels from Robert Morris University. 19th from Minnesota State Mankato, it is Ryan Wilson. And rounding out your top 20 currently, it is Timothy Wilms.
Yeah, moving on back is the battle right now, trying to defend that 21st position. University of Minnesota and Lucas Santos. Robert Morris University trying to take that away as we go. And could it be for the 21st position? Klingensmith is currently scored. And gives that up as he goes back in the corner. But will surely have a run off the corner here as Santos pretty loose right there. So that's 22nd for Robert Morris University. Austin DeLong finds himself in 23rd. Arizona State University and Connor Levy in 24th. Clemson University and Andrew Burrell in that 25th position. And then you had mentioned it, the pair of Wingate cars, and not the opening night to remember. If you are a Wingate fan, Alex, we mentioned it. But battles up and down the track. It has been an exciting race.
It absolutely has, and the action hasn't stopped yet, as now we see Matthew Burton trying to find their way on the inside of Colin Kolpa here, and this is a pack of 5 cars all battling just outside of the top 10. We see Burton to the inside of Kolpa, Wallet to the inside of Pete, Athena Leclerc laying in wait just behind them. Burton really launches it deep to the inside here. He's going to try and slide up ahead of the reigning alumni champion, able to do so for the moment. We'll see if Kolpa is going to try and switch back to the inside. Thinks about it for a moment, but then jumps back into the draft. He'll pull back up to the rear end of that ETSU machine and might look to make the pass here going into the corner, as Wallet and Pete also start getting a little bit closer to these two cars. Battling here, this is all through 12th through 16th, so a lot of points and a lot of positions up to grab here through the middle of the field as Kolpa gets really loose there. Wallet has to check up, and here comes Jeff Pete to the outside. The University of Minnesota looking to claim 2 spots at once, and looks like, at least for the moment, will be able to do so.
Oh, what an opportunity. That Indiana car was sideways coming off right there. And once you get loose, it does not take, it takes a lot of effort to gather that car back up. As you can see, St. Clair College now trying to defend that position. And so, that's going to be key for these drivers for basically this season while we run this car. It's going to be exciting. But we know, Alex, the summer time we talked about, we're a little bit more flexible as drivers may come and go and do what they may, and so decided to have a little bit of fun this summer with the Gen 4 Cup car. And 75 laps into this season, Alex, not disappointed.
Not disappointed in the slightest. There has been battling all over the field, especially at the front for the majority of this race. Right now, it is currently still in the hands of Matthew Morton in Ohio State. Currently about a second ahead of Clint Halterman, who's about a second ahead of this battle we see here between DeWale, Andrew Williams, and then it is Garrett Vighton behind them. He has gotten around Jeremy Miller in for 5th and is now closing into the back of that 23 car out of Clemson for 4th. You see Miller hanging just behind there, trying to hold off 7th of Cody Hundley. And this lead pack here has separated by a wide margin over Jacob Weist in 8th. I mean, they are 4 seconds clear of 8th on back. So if you are still in the hunt for this win here, you've really got to be in the top 7 as it currently stands.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate here as these drivers try and manage. We've gotten to the part of the show, I think, Alex, where they are starting to manage their tires just a little bit, trying to figure out, I might not actually have a pit stop 10 laps before the caution. I'm going to need some tires at that point. So we'll get to see how these drivers think about that as we get this figured out. A couple battles going into the final corner here, but that is Arizona State University, who is trying to get figured out and how to get around that seemingly wide Clemson car.
Yeah, wide is the word here, using all of the track that they can to try and hold back a charging Sun Devils machine, and Garrett Viden now looking to the inside here, trying to take away the 4th position here already on lap 78, so not too many laps to go here in this one, just north of 20. The 42 now takes firm control of 4th place and will have his sights set on Zach DeWale in 3rd. It's been a really impressive back half of the race here for that driver of the Arizona State machines. Josh, geez, I nearly butchered that one pretty bad.
No, it has been. He's been very talented as he tries now to hold off that Clemson machine. Great shot as we look back from that Zach DeWale car. And, yeah, it's been one that he's made really strong progress in the Gen 6 car, in the eNASCAR series for students, and then right here in this instance you can see Vitten has done a really good job keeping that Sun Devil machine up front. Big slide up off the corner, and you can see the car shaking back and forth, but that's all the fun here.
Absolutely. While we have a brief moment here before we get to the conclusion of this race, we're going to pull in one of the drivers whose night ended a little bit early to give a bit of a insider perspective of what these Gen 4s are like. So joining us for a brief moment in the booth here, it is Ricky Paz out of Valparaiso University. Ricky, you had a bit of a tough one to start the summer season here, but what is it like being behind the Gen 4 cars for the first time in CiL action?
You know, I gotta say the Gen 4 cars are definitely a different beast to try and handle. You know, Valpo's program is a little small, so it's just a couple of us competing this summer, but figured I'd give it a try. It's been a while since I ran the Gen 4, and you know, honestly lost control of the car trying to get the lucky dog, and so that's why I'm sitting and watching the rest of the race like all the fans here, and it's a good one to watch, I'll tell you that much, boys.
That's what we were seeing up here in the booth as well. A lot of action throughout the field. Did you find that to be the case as well through the opening stint you were able to run?
Yeah, so I ran about the first 30 laps, and it's a handful. Like I said, the rear end, the slide angle is you gotta perfect it, and especially at a big track like this, you gotta really know what you're doing. So. You know, I was having a blast. The tires are really important here too. You can see that on this long green flag run for these leaders as well. The thing that surprised me the most is this big gap between the top 7 and everywhere on. We didn't see that in the first 30 laps.
No, absolutely not. Well, thanks for joining us real quick, Ricky. We're going to jump back into the green flag pit cycle, but thanks for lending your insight.
Yeah, of course.
As he was saying about the tire wear, we started the green flag pit cycle there, Josh, and it looks like everyone has used this opportunity to come down pit road here for likely the final time here tonight.
Yeah, you would hope so. Now these drivers do not want to see a caution, but you are correct that it's green flag time. So these drivers have decided that we are not going to have any more cautions upcoming, or if they do, they are staying out. So. Could have some excitement as we go ahead here, but your leader is still the Ohio State Buckeyes, followed by North Carolina at Charlotte. And we talked about the gaps, and yeah, now we have all sorts of gaps as we let this pit stop cycle go, but still up at the front. Those gaps are genuine. North Texas, a bit of the ways off the lead right there, and you can see those cars. So 15 seconds back to 4th, in fact, back to about P6 or so. And so that's going to be something that those drivers get to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. Green flag pit stops become their own animal in a setting like this. As we saw Morton peel off finally to come down pit road, you have to wonder if anyone who came in a couple laps earlier might get the edge here. A lot of it's going to be how quickly and how effectively you can make these pit stops. I mean, this is the money stop. You don't want to mess this one up. And as we come through the pit cycle here, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. But right now, it is certainly tough to tell here. Currently on board with Jake Cummings, who before the pit cycle was 26th, now up to 9th through the nature of some people coming down pit road. I do believe he still needs to come down pit road, though. As we see Matthew Morton here getting ready to peel off and get back onto the track here in just a moment once those left side tires go on. looks like Edwin Onofre overshot the pit box again. That's been a rough pit box to try and get into for North Texas there tonight.
I think it is, and this is going to be for the lead right now. Excuse me, for going a lap down. So at the front of your screen, you can see that Ohio State car. You want to know what fresh tires are doing? That's what they're doing. I believe that was an Arizona State machine. I think I saw a 42 on the side of that car, but it flew by so fast I couldn't tell. And so as we go right here, up into the wall.
The caution's out.
And caution is out. That is massive as the Ohio State Buckeyes are trapped a lap down. They will be a lucky dog, but that is not what you want if you are Matthew Morton, who must be very unhappy at this moment, and the caution is out.
Clint Halterman must be absolutely singing in the seat of that 07 right now. Had not come down pit road yet and will be able to do so, with most of the field going to need some sort of wave around or lucky dog to get back, as we ride on board here with the 14 of Connor Levy. Trying to get down the pit road, didn't get it slowed down enough, and then just lost control trying to recover it once they realized they were going far too fast to make it down to pit road.
Yeah, and we talked about Arizona State with the new tires. Well, here we have Arizona State on the old tires, and that's not what you want right here. As just so hard to get back sorted the right way around. It's pretty tricky coming the exit off these corners.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Especially at high speeds, trying to get down from that height can be quite the challenge. So, as it stood, there was only 6 cars still on the lead lap who were yet to come down. Obviously, that'll cycle through in a moment here when the leaders come to pit road. But it's going to give a couple of cars a massive opportunity that they may not have been expecting as far as holding on to the lead, and those who pit late, they had the winning strategy, at least as far as track position coming into the crunch time here.
Yeah, coming down pit road right now, so a little bit of breathing room, probably not at risk of giving up the lead, but UNC Charlotte and Clint Halterman are going to want to make sure this goes correctly according to plan. You can see as well, if it doesn't, ETSU is ready to pounce. That's going to be your second place runner right now. And it looks like a car that has stayed out, scored as the leader, is Clemson University's Drew Williams. We'll keep an eye on that. Drew may have pitted earlier and may have not gone a lap down. That's feasible.
I believe
because
he was one of the first people who came down pit road. It looked like he was one of the first ones when we were talking to Ricky Paz a few moments ago. So he may have had the pace to unlap himself before the caution came out. So this actually could have worked perfectly in the hands for Drew Williams, assuming that all of the cars ahead of him here have to take the wave around.
Either new tires or the wave around is correct. And, it's what a game of chance, Alex, because we saw the 13 Ohio State machine come out, and that car, given half a corner, he probably could have unlapped himself as well, but that simply wasn't the case. And so that's how the gambles go here in the Gen 4 race. And suddenly, Alex, we are going to turn these drivers loose with about 10 laps to go, and that's going to be one to watch.
No doubt about it. If the racing up front has been any indication tonight, I think we're in for an absolute fireworks show to close this one out. It's tough to tell exactly who's running where just yet, though, till all the wave around happens. So we'll run down the top of the grid here once everything cycles on through. We just need to get that far first. But there is a couple of cars who have found themselves in prime position right now. And now this is the farthest back in the field that Ohio State and Matthew Morton are going to have to come from so far in this race night. I mean, they put the car on pole. They've been running in the top 4 the entire night, and now it looks like they're going to be restarting from 7th. With not a whole lot of time left, so we know that car is really fast in clean air. We'll have to see if it's fast in traffic as well.
Yeah, I don't doubt that the Ohio State team and Matthew Morton can get that car to the front. But it's going to be difficult. Everybody sees this restart as an opportunity, and so he's going to have to make sure that we've seen cars that have driven in the corner, gotten tight. We've seen cars that haven't been able to keep the slip angle through the center. He's going to have to be mindful of his competitors because he wants to get back up and compete. He's got the pace, he's got the car to park it tonight, but he's going to have to do some real mental gymnastics. Again, you'd say be patient, Alex, but 10 laps to go, not a lot to be patient about, I'm afraid.
No, there's absolutely not. And as things start to finally cycle through, it looks like there's going to be about 21, 22 cars here on the lead lap. The lights are still on the pace car, so all the cars who took the wave around are going to be able to catch back up to the field, and they're not trying to catch up at like 180 when everyone else is going 60 or 70. But as we're starting to look finally at the grid here, you've got Andrew Williams, who now finds himself in the lead. Clint Halterman, now sitting in second, the leader of those who had to come down pit road during the caution as opposed to during green flag racing. Cody Hunley for East Tennessee State currently finds himself in third alongside Jason Willott from Drexel in fourth. Matthew Burton, also of ETSU, so a great strategy call from the ETSU folks to find themselves with multiple cars in the top five now. Garrett Vighton in sixth, and then seventh is Jake Cummings, who has had quite the bounce back here from where they started this event being involved in a wreck on lap one. So maybe we'll see if he can hold on to that position here after the battle that it's been today. And then Zach DeWale, Colin Kolpa, and Jeremy Millerin look like they're running through the top 10. But it looks like there's still a lot of cars who need to get things sorted. Matthew Morton, the person with the most laps led so far tonight, currently sits in 22nd all the way back there as the car who was just put a lap down when that caution flew out. So if this is how they're going to restart, there is going to be an absolute chain of cars that 13 car is going to have to work their way by in order to still be in the hunt for this win with 10 laps to go. But with all that being said, the lights are out on the pace car. Williams and Halterman find themselves on the front here. It'll be 10 or 11 laps to go at the line. Green flag's up in the air. Williams hits the accelerator, and we are racing once again at Auto Club, looking to find the first winner of the season.
And that Clemson machine was shot out of there. ETSU trying to get up to speed. We've seen that 07 car hang tough as well on the outside. We hear some cars in the wall and big trouble in the back. It looks like we could have a yellow out, but we'll stay on the lead here. And yellow is out, and we can go and check that out. Yeah, this down into the corner. How did this work out? Alex looks like down in the corner. Oh, car was already sideways. I believe the 42 was already sideways in that instance. And so
it certainly looked like it. There was a lot of cars who had to scramble in a hurry. We see the 888 sideways there, but I think, that started well before the replay even got there with the 42. You see, trying, yikes. Yeah, that ran out of real estate up top trying to get down as Matthew Burton was trying to enter the corner high, and they collected each other, which then set off the chain reaction to collect a couple more cars in the process, including Andrew Burrell.
Yeah, I think so, and man, super tricky for those drivers there. That was not what you wanted to do to get restarted. We'll have to see if there was any type of fault or anything there, but yeah, Garrett Vitton, as you can see, he was trying to make this a go of it.
Yeah, and it was just a difference of philosophy at the wrong time. Vitton was high and wanted to dive a little bit into the corner. Burton was a little bit lower but was trying to run a higher line through the corner, and they collected each other in the entrances of their respective paths. As we are on board here with the 42, and we can see the spin cycle happen in real time.
Yeah, and these drivers, so right here, he had the 33, and I don't know if he was trying to cut down in the corner, maybe 33, didn't know he was there. He didn't have awareness of the 33, but a little bit tricky for those guys. That is the result, though.
Luckily for a couple other cars who didn't get collected bigger in that process, still the 65 of Klingensmith take a little bit of damage off the nose, but that could have been far worse as the 42 came barreling down the track there. But that will more or less regroup everything 2x2 as opposed to 2x2 for 4 rows and then single file all the way back for the wave rounds, which will be a big advantage to a couple of the fast cars trapped in the back right now, like Ohio State and Matthew Morton, who, even though the amount of cars to pass hasn't changed too much, the physical distance needed to cover has now been cut in half.
Well, it has, and just in that run, I mean, we made it down into turn 1, Alex, and from 22nd to 16th place, the Buckeyes went. So, again, not impossible if you're up front, but I'll tell you what, as we get these new tires and cars, look at that purple lap time. It now belongs to your leader, Clemson University, and that is certainly no surprise that driver Drew Williams has waited until the time, and this is great for business because he's laps are ticking away. He's not wearing out those tires, and those are 2 or 3 laps, Alex, that he doesn't have to defend from that UNC Charlotte car.
Yeah, it's also 2 or 3 laps. He doesn't have to defend from anyone else trying to mount the challenge here. Obviously, Halterman probably the one with the strongest bid for the lead after Matthew Morton, but with Morton still being scored in the 16th position, it is very much Halterman's opportunity to take one away here from Drew Williams. Drew Williams, as we mentioned earlier, still looking for that inaugural CiL victory. Nearly got it at Darlington back in the spring. Ended up getting into some trouble with Connor Levy with less than 10 laps to go and wasn't able to see the end of that one. Halterman did win Watkins Glen back in the spring, so he knows what it takes to pick up a win here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Looking to pick up his first oval victory, though, on the College Cup Series side. And then behind them, you have Cody Hunley, who's making his debut in the CiL tonight, alongside Jason Willott, who was the Daytona 250 winner from a season ago. So a mixed bag of both CiL experience and CiL success up through the top 4 here. And then behind them, you had a couple of playoff guys in Jake Cummings and Zach DeWale. So certainly it is going to be an adventure as this all unfolds here. The lights are out on the pace car, which means we will be hitting the green flag next time by. It'll be lap 94 when they go racing again, meaning there is only 7 laps to go, I believe. So, lights are on the pace car. Pace car is going to dive into pit road for perhaps the final... Oh, no, the lights are back on. They have re-added a lap of pacing to the field. I guess there was some folks who weren't quite set yet.
They have, and the ticker showing, or the event ticker showing, a little bit of excitement further down in the field. And so, looks like, yeah, we weren't quite ready for that one, but see if we can get rolling here as we try and get this set up. Do have a green-white checkered in this series as well, so I don't think we'll have to use it on this one, Alex, but we might get pretty close. But lights still working on that pace car, and so we'll see a couple drivers back in pits. And yeah, so it will be a battle for these drivers. I'll tell you who does not appreciate this is going to be Matthew Morton. We talked about he's got plenty of time, but man, that was all his time. He's watching the minutes tick by, and that other team has the ball. There's nothing he can do. But that 13 machine, he's got the pace. I just don't know if he's got the time.
Yeah, and maybe he gets a couple of spots. Maybe another caution comes out from cars ahead of him that he avoids a wreck and is able to restart on a green-white checkered up in the front, say 4 rows or so. But that the options are starting to narrow to quite a degree here. I mean, he by far has the most laps led of any driver tonight, but it might be all for naught with the way the last 20 laps of this race shook out. Currently restarting is going to be 16th alongside Ryan Wilson there in that yellow and purple Minnesota State Mankato car. Josh, I got to ask you, if you're in this situation, who's your pick? Who do you think is going to pull it out?
I think that Andrew Williams there in Clemson, just by nature of being the control car on the restart, it's good for a car length getting into the first turn. That may be all he needs. Quickly, we can see the incident there that led us to this extended yellow. You see University of Minnesota is trying to catch back up here, and not sure what happens, but maybe just a little bit of an off as this driver had to pit. Yeah, heavy up under the brakes now. And, excuse me, not yet. But yeah, it looks like at some point had a little issue here, as this was the cause for the caution and big trouble.
Yikes!
And yikes!
Oh my goodness!
Not much
Who just
awareness.
Got sent to outer space?
Not much awareness there at all as we go, and coming out of turn 4, so we are ready to restart the race now. But Lucas Santos having a bit of an issue right there. Lights again out on the pace car, and coming down the backstretch. Not what you love to see, Alex.
No, certainly not. And my heart breaks for whatever car just got placed on the orbit of the moon. But when we hit the stripe, it'll be lap 96. It'll be 5 laps to go when we hit the line. So no green-white checker just yet, but if there were to be another caution, we would likely have one. Drew Williams on the inside, Clint Halterman on the outside. Personally, I think if Halterman can stay within 2 car lengths going through 1 and 2, I think he has a really good chance to make something happen before the end of this race here. Wallet and Hundley just behind them, eager to jump on any mistake the front row cars might make. But here we go. Lights are off. Pace car pulls into pit road. Waiting for the green flag now is Drew Williams. They hit the restart zone. Green flag's in the air. We are racing once again at Auto Club, and Clint Halterman got a pretty decent jump. He's going to be able to hang right to the back of that 23 car.
UNC Charlotte, a great jump. That's the best he can do right there, is put that ETSU machine from East Tennessee State behind him. Now he's going to look forward. Can he make something work on the outside? That's a great spot for the momentum, but these tires are pretty new, Alex. The difference is going to be a little bit smaller than it would be on a longer tire run, but no need to pull out here. These drivers come into 4 to go this time by, so he's got a couple laps to work something out here for that Niner Esports crew. Clint Halterman, again, looking around the outside, you can see of that purple bow tie. Clemson University going to defend up high, so Andrew Williams is making it pretty clear to everybody, including Halterman, he wants that high side, Alex.
Absolutely. 4 laps to go, and the caution is out once again. We will be going to a green-white checkered finish. Not sure what happened just yet, but there is, looks like there might be some scuff marks there on the 521. The nose of the 13's caved in a little bit. Wonder if there's any relation there. Not sure who else may have been involved. But that was setting up to be quite the battle for the lead before the caution here, as we're on board with Jake Cummings of Wingate.
Yeah, Jake Cummings there in the middle of 3 wide. Looks like a bit of nose damage, maybe not where you want to be in that scenario. And it's actually Jacob Wiest as well is on the screen right here, and saying that he had a little bit of trouble. Yeah, right there, the 13. So you could see that, that Ohio State Buckeye machine was trying to get... just trying to move forward. No new news there, Alex. But, not much to do there.
Yeah, was refusing to take the foot off the gas and just caught a little bit of the 600 car, which led to everyone having the same problem as those 2 cars did with a bit of contact. We see a big move here just to get around Jake Cummings going down the backstretch. And as they go into 3 and 4 here, Morton absolutely launches it down low, slides up the track, and just catches a piece of the 600 car. And that's where this mess begins.
Oh, and the 600 was loose as well. 600 was loose as well off the corner, so he had to lift. You could actually see that the 13 had pretty much gambled, and you would have to if you're in that position. The 13 machine had gambled that car was going to go keep that forward momentum and velocity. Wasn't the case there, but yeah, what can you do? You got 3 laps to go. You got to come back from that unfortunate pit stop, Alex. So I don't think any driver on our frame right now is lifting in that situation, but and we'll see what the race stewards and race control have to say there. That's going to be a pretty tricky one, and may depend upon who your favorite team and driver is.
Yeah, luckily, the stewards aren't going to base their decision off of which team they like more. They're going to look at that as from as much of a racing situation as possible here. But it will be a green-white checkered here, which means this now has fallen into a really favorable position for Drew Williams and Clemson. Been able to get some good restarts the past couple times from the lead, and now it's just a matter of closing it out on a short stint. Halterman was all over the back of him coming off a 2 on that last restart before the caution. But, when you only have to deal with 2 laps here, it's just going to be a matter of how good you get going on this restart may dictate whether or not you're going to win this race.
No, that is, and yeah, we got 2 laps to go when we go, and the lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to see it this time by. And Alex, I think Williams is pretty square here. He's got fresh tires. All these drivers do. I think that Williams, is going to have a lap after this restart, but when they come by to take that white flag, barring any more excitement, when those 2 drivers come by to take that white flag, Halterman's going to be right there, and so he's going to have something to say, and we know that Williams likes to be up top. I think Williams on the final lap, he's going to try to come to the checkered on the high side. He's going to try to keep that momentum coming up there. But yeah, you mentioned it, that Clemson machine 23 in particular, and Williams is simulating Casey Kane's rookie season, where a lot of good performances, and we dare say a staple of our top 10. No matter what the Oval Series is, that 23 car. But yeah, has not been able to grab any hardware up to this point. So can Drew Williams get the job done as he comes off turn 4? And Alex, we are about to have our only green-white checkered. That pace car is going to drop off, and Drew Williams and Clemson University have to get this restart.
They absolutely do. They'll be coming to the line here. Pace car pulls off for the final time here from Auto Club. The conclusion of the California 200 coming up right now. Green flag in the air. The restart once again. Williams immediately jumps up the block. Halterman all over the back of the 23 as they dive into 1 and 2.
Diving into 1 and 2, and Halterman's got a little bit of trouble. He's got a car inside. That was not in my calculations, but he's got to get clear this corner. That Niner Esports car does not have a choice. In fact, you can see the 0-2 is battling for that 3rd position. He wants that, but here we go. So it's going to be down. It might not even get to the white flag, but Clint Halterman, where does he want to put this car? You know that both these drivers want to be up on the high side. UNC Charlotte is going to do it right here. Did not expect the 23 to go low. Alex, we're coming to the white flag.
It is 1 lap to go here in the first race of the season for the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Halterman on the door of Andrew Williams as they go into 1 and 2. Halterman to the high side this time around, trying to find the run down the backstretch. He'll need to take the lead away. Drew Williams fighting ferociously on the inside, trying to hold on. They are side by side coming off the corner. Halterman with that outside line will get a little bit of a better run. Williams doing anything he can to side draft, hold on to the inside here. He will dive it into 3 and 4. They are coming to the line. Zach DeWale launching it high, trying to make something happen here. But it is Halterman by a nose at the moment. He'll clear Andrew Williams off of turn number 4, and Clint Halterman will pick up the win in the California 200 on a last lap pass. UNC Charlotte back in victory lane.
UNC Charlotte back in victory lane. Was very surprised to see Clemson give up the high side, but what a race. We got two shootout laps in, and Niner Esports, he kind of had the play, and that's kind of what I figured he would want to do. I thought Clemson might make it a little bit harder, but UNC Charlotte, a great performance, and my goodness, look at that top 5, Alex. I mean, you could put any one of those cars in victory lane. I don't think anybody would be surprised. And by the way, 4th place, Jason Wallet, last season's winner, Mr. Consistent. So, wow, what a competition from this top 5 group of guys.
Yeah, what an absolute barn burner of a finish. Can't ask for much more than that, and they kept it clean all the way to the end. What an absolute battle for those guys.
Yeah, what man, we had racing in the beginning, we had racing at the end, we had racing in the middle, had a little bit of strategy, and what could have been, Alex, with that Ohio State Buckeyes machine. That caution could have come out probably 30 seconds earlier or later, and this race would have been totally different. But nonetheless, that is how it goes sometimes. So it's going to be a little bit tricky right there, but man, what a race.
What a race indeed, and Clint Halterman will park that car in victory lane here. He'll pick up the first win of Season 8 here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Man, oh man, what a finish. We'll have an opportunity to talk to our podium finishers here in just a moment once they have an opportunity to get out of the car and kind of process what just happened there. But just a stellar finish, and what a fantastic way to kick off racing here in the College Cup Series.
It totally is, and we have a moment, Alex. So maybe we can run through our grid here. But yeah, man, what a fun shootout to the end.
Absolutely. So, we'll do a quick rundown at least of the top 10 here, and we'll see if anyone has gotten out of their cars by that point. But it is Clint Halterman by only 15 hundredths of a second, picking up the victory on the last lap pass over Andrew Williams of Clemson University. In third place, it is Zach DeWale out of St. Clair College, Jason Willott for Drexel, and Cody Hunley for East Tennessee State, rounding out your top 5. Athena LeClaire of St. Clair College, Christian Hill of Mount St. Mary's, Edwin Onofre in North Texas, Colin Culpa for Indiana, and Andrew McCall for Purdue, rounding out the top 10. And Josh, I do believe we have an opportunity to talk to our podium finishers here tonight. So, the first person we'll have the opportunity to talk to here tonight is Zach DeWale out of St. Clair College, bringing it home P3 tonight. Congrats on the podium finish to start the season there, Zach. And what did you see from the last couple laps there on the green-white checkered?
Just trying to. I just saw a lot of guys that been racing really hard with the whole time, so I didn't want to be overly aggressive and cause any issues because first race of the season you want to be a little friendly, but yeah, just tried to keep it clean.
Yeah, congrats on the third place, Zach. That was a ton of fun, man. So as we are introducing both our drivers and our viewers to the Gen 4 Cup car, it was not so long ago that we had the next gen car here at Auto Club Speedway. What's the difference? What's different about this car and how you drive and race your competitors?
It might not have that much more power technically in the sim, but it feels like just so much more because it's got the skinnier tires and all that, and just the way the suspension is, you're just sliding around. You got to be so gentle on the throttle. It feels like a whole different animal. It's a handful, but it's a lot of fun in my opinion. It's just this is what stock car racing should be, I think.
Well, I don't think you are alone in that sentiment. That'll be a pretty popular opinion as everybody loads up their haulers here in California. But is there anybody, before we turn you loose, that you want to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, for sure. The usuals, as always, from last couple seasons, Emily, Riley, and Jordan. I don't know if they got a chance to watch, but always nice to know that they're at home supporting.
That's awesome. So congrats again, third place, and yeah, we're looking forward to a lot more of these Gen 4 races.
Yes, sir.
Well, you heard it. It's maybe we'll say it's a driver's car or something similar, Alex, where a really pleased St. Clair College driver, Zach DeWale, is going to bring it home third place tonight.
Yeah, and he put together quite a good drive. Coming into the booth in a second here is also a driver who had quite the run here, especially when the strategy call worked out late, but will have to settle for P2 here tonight. Drew, congrats on the finish, but I'm sure this is not the spot you would have wanted to be in given where you were on the restart.
With the tire difference, Clint had 7-lap newer tires. I knew I wasn't the second quickest car tonight. I gambled to get to the front, and I just wanted to hold on to something. Clint's a good guy. He deserves a win. Big congrats to him. If it was anyone else, I would have raced him a lot harder and try to make something desperate. But it's race 1. I'm just happy to get my points and go.
Yeah, Drew, congratulations to yourself and Clemson. Pretty good showing. And we'll ask you kind of the same question, these Gen 4 cars. How much of it is being aware of your surroundings, your racers that are surrounding you, and also your tires?
It's a huge change. It's terrifying, to be honest. We're usually running, when we ran here in the next gen over the summer, it was pack racing. We were 3 wide the whole time, bumping and pushing, and with the Gen 4, we're able to get single file and actually race each other a little bit. The tire dag was giant all night, so that played a huge factor in strategy calls.
Yeah, I think we were seeing as much as 2 to 3 seconds of fall off. But before we turn you loose, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Of course, I want to thank Clemson University and Orangeville Racing for sponsoring what I do every week. And thanks to friends and family who watch. I appreciate you guys.
Very well. Couldn't have said it better. Myself, Drew, congrats at a well-earned, hard-fought, and you're right, a gamble it was. Get up to second place, and a strong, strong start to the Gen 4 Garage Shop College Cup Series. And so, Alex, that was our second place, Drew Williams, who was, I mean, he had maybe a balanced perspective. He was upset a little bit, as you would be, but sounded pretty positive on his overall result here.
Yeah, I'll be honest, more positive, I think, than I would have been in that situation if I had a chance for the win on the last lap and couldn't close it out. But, you know, he did make a really good point that he definitely wasn't in the top three most of the day and kind of was able to hold on to. Definitely a great points haul for him to start the season. I think that's the positive outlook you have to kind of have coming off of a performance for that. But now joining us in the booth here, it is the race winner tonight from UNC Charlotte. It is Clint Halterman. Welcome back to Victory Lane, Clint. And you got to tell us, how'd you do it there on the green-white checkered?
Oh, man. That was just... Andrew had like 7 laps older tires, and I knew we had like 3 restarts there at the end. I knew like if we could just go green for maybe 2 laps, I could probably get him just because I had slightly fresher tires. And I tried to. I knew in the first couple of restarts I tried going low, and he was kind of blocking the inside. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna make the pass, I'm gonna have to go high. So eventually, I just got just enough of a run off of 4 coming to the white, where I was able to carry the momentum down the front stretch, and then just in 1, the better tires really is what did it there. I finally was just able to get past him there.
Yeah, so Clint, first of all, race win on the first race of this season. Congratulations. Well, let's talk about that pit stop and strategy a little bit. There was a certain red and black car that was a force all night long, and boy, we had said if that caution came out at any different time, that car would have been up in our front runners. But what was your response when you were sitting in the seat and you saw that car was not on your lap? He was a lap down, and how did that change your race?
Oh man, that I think the caution came out the second I passed him to put a lap down, and that was what won me the race. Honestly, I really didn't. I just did not quite have enough pace for Matthew there. He was really quick there on the long runs there, but I did a fist pump there. I knew I had a really good shot of winning the race there. I thought I kind of screwed myself because I saw everyone else pit, and I saw Andrew, I think, was maybe the first of the guys up there to pit, and he came flying past me, and then my crew chief told me he set the fastest lap of the race, and I was like, oh, I think I made a mistake here, and I just got lucky for once. I think the couple times we had green flag pit stops last in the spring, I pitted early on like all of them, and it didn't work out one time. So I figured, why not just stay out longer here and see what happens. But yeah, that caution saved me there. I probably would. I don't know where I would have finished, but I don't know if it would have been inside the top 5 there. But yeah, got very fortunate there.
Well, all's well that ends well, and found you in victory lane this evening here at Auto Club. But congrats again. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to before we turn you loose?
Yeah, just want to thank my friends and family. I actually just finished my undergraduate degree on Friday. I'm starting grad school in the fall, so definitely big shout out to them, to my family, just for all the support across the 4 years and into my graduate program. So yeah.
Congrats on your degree there, bud. I just graduated with my master's a couple weeks ago as well, so I understand the joy that comes with that. So congrats.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's been a super positive week in Clint in UNC Charlotte. Congrats again. Enjoy the win.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Man, Alex, what an event. I don't know where to start or stop, but we started this and drivers were really mixing it up at the front. We were seeing a lot of Ohio State, seeing a lot of that UNC Charlotte car and that St. Clair College car up at the start of the race. And over time, that Clemson machine worked his way into the picture, and pretty competitive up front, and even in the mid pack. And then I think we're all in agreement that pit stop was a pretty unique scenario, and not what the Ohio State Buckeyes needed. So they're going to be starting about midway in the championship standings for the Garage Shop College Cup Series this summer. But yeah, that was what a series of events.
Yeah, it was not the result you're looking for if you're Matthew Morton, but it's the pace you're looking for. You feel a lot of confidence, I feel like, coming after today, knowing that you may not have gotten the result you wanted, but if you carry that pace into the subsequent weeks here, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But with that being said, I guess it's time to do the full grid rundown here before we call it a night there, Josh.
Yeah, I think we can, and what an event it was here. And again, your winner from Niner Esports, North Carolina at Charlotte, Clint Halterman, followed by Clemson University's Andrew Williams and St. Clair College's Zach DeWale. Jason Wallach from Drexel University is going to be in 4th position, and rounding out your top 5, newcomer, East Tennessee State University, Cody Hunley. St. Clair College, Athena LeClaire, really good showing for that team in P6. And Mount St. Mary's Christian Hill in 7th position. University of North Texas in P8 via Edwin Onofre. And Indiana and Purdue going to come home 9th and 10th with Colin Culpa and Andrew McCall behind those wheels, respectively. Drexel University's Tim Wilms going to be in 11th position, followed by Robert Morris's Brad Daniels. Good showing for that group as well. North Carolina at Charlotte going to find themselves in 13th position as well, with Jacob Weiss. And Minnesota State Mankato and Ryan Wilson going to find themselves in 14th position. University of Minnesota and Jeff Pete, Alex, will be in 15th position for this one.
Absolutely, and then we go back to the person with the most laps led tonight, Matthew Morton for Ohio State University in 16th. Not the result they were looking for, but definitely a lot to be positive about moving beyond this race. Connor Levy in 17th for Arizona State, and then 18th is Jeremy Millerin from Purdue. In 19th position, it is Jake Cummings out of Wingate University, who had a very up-and-down day. Brandon Schulenberger, also from Wingate, rounds out the top 20 there in that number 7 machine. 21st is Austin DeLong, and in 22nd, it is Andrew Burrell from Clemson University. 23rd is Tyler Klingensmith in his oval debut for Robert Morris University. Also in his debut, Lucas Santos for the University of Minnesota brings us home 24th. Thomas Toomey for the University of Virginia finishes 25th. Garrett Fighton, 26th for Arizona State. 27th is Matthew Burton out of ETSU. Ricky Paz had trouble early and will finish 28th for Valparaiso University. 29th will be Dustin Buck for Waldorf University. And in 30th, it is Ken Hunley for Northeast State Technical. And with that is our finish here for the season debut, Josh. And I gotta say, if the racing we see for the rest of the season is even only half as good as the action we had here tonight in the California 200, I am thrilled for what we're about to have for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that was super exciting to see these drivers going ahead and competing with just such close proximity, close quarters. Really excited to see these drivers racing and competing like that. And yeah, I suspect that we will see a lot more of that throughout the season.
100%. Well, that's going to do it for tonight for our coverage of the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. For Josh Crane, I've been Alexander Gagnon. Tune in on next Monday, same time, 9 p.m., for the second race of the season. But until then, we'll see you next time.